Mimics are the ultimate gotcha. A creature literally created to cause players to be more hesitant when opening up treasure chests in dungeons. And they've been used in countless different stories, oftentimes for a gag at the main character's expense. But what if we based an entire adventure around these little guys? Well, I did just that, and you can find a link to that PDF in the description below, free of charge. As always, I'm Misty, this is Misty Steps, and let's get comfy and get into this adventure. Our party finds themselves in a bustling town. A trades fair is in, and it is packed with people looking for rare books, plants, pets, potions, you name it, they've got it. Yes, this adventure does start during a shopping episode. But this isn't just a normal shopping trip, because something catches the eye of our heroes. As stalls and carts begin to close up and people turn to the taverns and inns for the night, the party catches what looks to be a booth set up with multiple chests. But these chests are displayed a little strangely. Instead of lined up in a row on a shelf or for display, there's a big sign that says "Do not touch," and they're all kind of cuddled together the way a dog and its litter of puppies would. As they approach the shopkeep explains, these are not normal chests, but rather mimics. A family of them, actually. The shopkeep explains that he had been in a dungeon exploring, looking for ingredients like rare mushrooms, tomb mold, spider legs, the usual. And then he ran across the mom of the group of mimics, the maternal figure at least, the big one. And it was pretty beaten up by some other adventurers, and when he reached out to touch it, it didn't attack. So he brought it home to heal it up for whatever reason. He's not really sure what caused him to act like that. He knows that mimics are dangerous, but it just felt right to him at the time. When it healed up, he went to bring it back to the dungeon, but instead of it morphing away and disappearing into the shadows, it returned with more little mimics, and they decided to take a liking to our shopkeep friend. They seem happy with the table scraps that he feeds them, and it's nice to have protection when traveling, so he doesn't really mind. Kind of like a attack dog situation, but more teeth and a bottomless stomach. Unfortunately, though, the whole lot of the mimics have been a little down in the dumps lately. See, there were some bandits on the road to the trade fair, and a few days back, one of the bandits took one of the little mimics, thinking that it was some loot or some treasure. It was dark, and the shopkeep couldn't tell where he had gone, and truth be told, the shopkeep's not much of an adventurer. He really only goes down into some known dungeons that he's memorized and that have some pretty low-level concerns, so he doesn't get into many fights, and even when he does, he always makes sure he has a scroll of teleportation just in case. He knows that the bandits went towards the mountains, and he did try to go after them, but it was so dark he couldn't find his way, and what good would it do? He's just one shopkeep against a whole pack of bandits, and if he were to die, who would take care of his mimic? The shopkeep does also explain that yes, mimics are usually a bit more solitary, but these little guys are still young, not quite ready to really be out on their own. They're just now growing in their adult teeth, after all. So the quest begins with the party going to save a baby mimic. Now, if your party is different than mine, because mine will assume that anything with a mouth is pet-shaped and will immediately latch onto it. You can bribe them with the shopkeep and suggest some potions made in things or perhaps an enchanted item. After all, that is what he sells and that's what his specialty is. He promises that if Little Mimic is returned safely home, he will make custom items for the party or perhaps custom potions. Or DMs, if you have your mind set on some specific items that he could gift our party, all the better. Upon the party making their way towards the mountains, there are plenty of environmental concerns that you can have them encounter. Cold, icy wind bites at the party. Wolves and other mountain life are just trying to survive out here, and the party does look pretty tasty, especially that barbarian. With this adventure being targeted towards level 3 or 4 players, even a couple of 2d6 wolf encounters can get pretty dicey. As they continue up the mountain, a high DC on a perception score will yield them that they spot a scout of the bandits, spotting them and then running off to warn the others. They can try to catch him if possible, or maybe just follow him, depending on how they feel about their current situation. The bandits have taken over an old fort, long abandoned and not used since the last territory skirmishes in the area. It's clearly showing its age and it's worn down, but it's definitely been recently refortified. If the scout successfully got to the keep before the party, the entire place is rigged. Booby traps, tripwires, arrows, the whole 9 yards, the whole Indiana Jones shtick that your party can go through. If they did manage to catch the scout, then they have the opportunity to take the keep by surprise. And a scrawled note can be found on the scout, letting them know about a hidden entrance. They have the potential to take a sneak attack if they choose. Regardless, the adventurers have to make their way through the keep, and eventually they will run into the bandit captain up in a high tower. And he's got more than a few tricks up his sleeve as they roll for initiative. And I do mean just one sleeve. He is missing a hand, your party will notice. After they defeat the captain, they will get access to a key that unlocks the treasure room behind him, including one small, tiny little chest mimic who happens to have a finger wedged in its teeth, so that explains what happened to the captain's hand. Once the little mimic is reunited with its family and with the shopkeep, the heroes are thanked and, as promised, can get some enchanted potions or items. There are some suggestions in the PDF down below in the description, and if the party happens to have a penchant for persuasion, or is really connected to these little baby mimics, the shopkeep could let them keep the one they rescued as a pet. Since it's clear his teeth are fully grown in, and if the mimic approves, you could either make this an animal handling check, or if you just don't mind there being a pet mimic with your party, you can just let them have it. Either way, the mimics are promised a good home, with the shopkeep stating that he would find some good dungeons for them, and once they're fully grown and able to take care of themselves, it'll be like a rehab and release situation for wildlife. If you're interested, the PDF for this adventure is listed at the coffee link in the description below. The PDF includes maps, story beats, and even some fun bonus ideas on what to do with the potential attack mimic your party now has as a pet. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.